Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a little while before we posted any videos. So, picking up where we left from, we were discussing about risk identification and documentation in our last video. And today we will be discussing about how to go about performing risk analysis. So, why do we need to do this, and what is it that we are trying to achieve in this step? See, all the risks that we have identified, they won't be equally important. Some risks will be more important, some risks will be less important. So, in order to determine the priority and make sense of things like which risks requires more urgent attention or which risks can be ignored, these kind of decisions can be made based on this analysis that we are going to discuss. So principally speaking, there are two types of analysis that we can conduct: qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative risk analysis is something that we probably will be discussing in our next video. Today, our area of focus will be qualitative risk analysis. So, when it comes to qualitative or quantitative, doesn't matter. Risk events are always associated with two primary characteristics. What is the probability of that risk happening, the chances of that risk occurring, and then what will be the impact if that risk happened. Now, when we are in qualitative risk analysis, we can use a simple unitless scale of 1 to 3 maybe, or 1 2 3 4 5. If you have too many risks, then maybe a bigger scale will be more useful. But for the sake of easier understanding, we're just gonna keep our scale of 1, 2, and 3. So let's say 1, 2, 3. When it comes to probability, we are saying 1 means less chances of happening, 2 means medium chances of happening, and 3 means high possibility of that happening. Impact on the same lines: low impact, 1 means low impact, 2 means medium impact, and 3 means high impact. Now, once we have the scale, we can easily go and do the assessment. Like, say for example, there's a risk that during festival period, the workers may go on extended leaves, which leads to delays. Now, the chances of this happening is very high, so I'm going to give it a probability score of 3. However, the impact can be set to medium because this is going to create some delays, of course. However, it's not that big of an impact in the sense that your construction quality is not going down or you are not endangering someone's life. So it may not be right to give it a 3 score. But of course, it depends upon the individual risk and the scenario, and basically in what context we are dealing with that particular risk. So it will come from your own judgment, from your own experience. Probably you can talk to some of the experts to understand the probability and impact. Now, once you have given the probability and impact scores, the next thing we have to do is we have to prioritize the risk events. So say for example, I have R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5, 5 different risks with probability and impact score as, let's say, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, and impact score being 3, 3, 2, 1, 2. Now, which risk is more important? We can decipher that by a simple arithmetic function, which is to multiply the two scores. So you get 9, 6, 6, 2, sorry, my bad, 1 and 4. So we just multiplied the two scores and we have the prioritization. So basically R1 is most important, R2 and R3 are equally important after R1, then R5 is the third most important, and R4 is the least important risk. However, we are still not done here, because what we further want to do in this respect is we want to have some sort of mechanism to help us decide which risk is how much important. Now for that purpose, I'm just going to change the color of the pen quickly. Yeah. Now, so for that purpose, we are going to create a prioritization matrix where, let's say, probability is on this side and impact is on this side. Now we will just simply multiply the two scores, 1 excuse me, yeah, 2, 3, 2 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 6, 3, 6, 9. Now once we have this matrix, we have to color code it. So let's say 9 is in the red zone, 2, 3, 4, 6 falls in the amber zone, and 1 is under the green zone. Now of course these zonings or these zones can be again subjective from project to project, organization to organization, depends upon things like the risk-taking capacity or appetite, and how risky the project overall is. Red zone can be bigger, amber zone can be smaller, green zone can be bigger. So just one example that I have considered here. So now I know that R4 comes in the green zone. When it's in the green zone, you are simply saying that we don't want to do anything about this risk right now. It's too small. We will just leave it, and maybe we'll create some sort of buffers in the project. If in case this risk was to happen, then we can at least absorb the impact of it, but we're not going to do anything about it proactively. However, the risks which are R2, R3 and R5, they fall under amber zone, which means they require proactive mechanisms, response strategies, so that we can lower down their probability and impact to a certain degree. And then I have R1 in the red zone. This risk seems to be very big, and it looks like that the project may not be able to proceed until and unless we do something about this risk. So it's like not just very big, but it also requires an immediate action to make sure that the project can proceed. So this is how we go about prioritizing the risks in our risk register with the simple 1 to 3, 1 to 3 scale, which, like I said, it could be a more elaborative 1 to 5 scale, or it could be a 1 to 10 scale, doesn't matter. But the basic logic behind the prioritization is this only. So that's all for this video. In next video, we'll be talking about quantitative risk analysis, which where we'll cover some advanced analysis techniques in respect of risk management. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, confusions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond. And take care. Bye for the time being. See you next time.